Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcast.
What is up, everyone? Ryan Neo Wayne here, along with Joe King, and this was the double elimination episode. And I gotta say, so sorry. This one was a bit of a, I don't want to say a doozy. It was very straightforward, but there was like the misdirection. And I'm not even talking, I don't know if you noticed this, but before the challenge and everything, they were giving a lot of screen time to Mitch and
Hmm.
Shaheen. So I was like thinking, uh-oh, this is like when you're watching like Game of Thrones or Walking Dead, and a certain like side characters getting a lot of screen time.
Yeah,
They're gonna die.
yeah, especially with Mitch, I really did feel like Joe literally said, like, we can't let Mitch go far in this game. Like, he's gonna win. Like if Joe's the one that they're giving that information to say, and obviously Joe's making it very deep based off of the edit that he's gotten. It did not read good signs for Mitch to come.
No, not at all. I am glad that he was able to pull through though, because I'm not
Yeah,
done. Like I don't want to see. I didn't want to see Seiko either. Like I
yeah.
was like, no.
Yeah, I'll let you know. My Survivor watch party, they cheered. Some people got up on their hands and on their feet, and they clapped. They were
I
they
get
were ready.
she's not everyone's cup of tea, but I was like, but she was so entertaining. For her not to make jury sucks.
Yeah, and this is wild. Remember, episode one. She has broken the confessional record of Tony Bacos in a premiere episode. They gave that to Stay, who just misses out on jury.
Yep.
That's pretty wild.
I don't know
That's a
what. I mean, like
choice. It's a
that's
choice.
choice. She's entertaining as hell.
Mhm.
But I was like, when they gave that to her, I said it throughout the season. I'm still gonna say it. It made me think she was going to be pivotal, like she was
Yeah.
going to make it deep, deep.
Yeah.
Evidently, that was not the case.
Nope. I think there's still a chance that she's making the Survivor 50, to be honest, based off of this edits. Um,
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I can see that.
she seems like, I mean, I think there's a good chance that most of this cast does not surpass her confessionals that she got at the end of the season. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be something fun to check as the season progresses. Is who's getting more confessionals than Say?
All right. We have obviously the Banu bench or the Banu
Mhm.
bar. We need like we need to think of something for say as well.
Gosh, North had something. I remember North did mention something for Say, and I'm totally blanking on what he said.
Consult them next time, and we'll have it for next
Yeah,
episode. We'll have it for
yeah,
next
yeah,
episode.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, well, obviously confessionals will be later, but she ends up with 53 confessionals. The next highest person in confessionals is Kyle at 31. So it's
That
going to
is
take
so many.
it's going to take a while for someone to get to Say.
Quite some time.
and
Very much.
and there's a chance Kyle, I could see him being gone in a few episodes, just like as a threat, like getting taken out somewhere. So if he gets taken out before he even
Yeah.
gets to the Say confessional accounts, then we maybe Say ends up with the most confessionals on the season as the 12th placer.
I would say it would be, it is technically possible. I just don't think it's probable,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Joe does not have a lot of confessionals in terms of the grand scheme of things, so it's like
which is
if
crazy.
if he's making final three, like I can see a very slow grind of him getting like almost like right there to Say.
Dude, no, I think that there's still like what? So we have 10 episodes. So we have or we have five regular episodes and then finale.
Mhm.
So that's like, so it's definitely possible for someone to do it, especially in the finale when there's so little, when there's so few contestants left. Obviously, they get more screen time.
Mhm.
So We'll see. I think it's definitely possible for someone to beat beat Say's confessional count.
Yeah.
Now the question is, how many?
I think max two. I think we're gonna have max two.
I don't even think that is a I don't the thing is I can't argue with that being the case. I think that is very possible.
Yeah. If one or two of these like other high confessional getters are gone within the next 3 to 4 episodes, I mean, I just feel like they're going to end up just below Say.
Yeah. No. No, this is it is crazy because I know we're talking about confessionals counts, but it is like
Yeah.
the say that was like one of her big things apart from like I would say for people that pay attention to confessional counts was that. So like it
Yeah.
begs the question, especially with someone like Chrissy and also Cedric. Well, I mean Cedric also this episode finally got eliminated, which that was too safe of a move. It's like
Yeah.
you're really gonna send home the person that fell before Jeff could finish a sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, like Cedric, I was almost kind of hoping that we were just going to have a great montage of him being bad at these immunity challenges because like we already have bad pre-merge challenges of him, but like if we could have just had a montage of just all of these endurance like things and he's just going out when like within the first 30 seconds each time. Like,
Yeah. That was the thing is it was like it did make sense to take out Shaheen there. I think kind of like what they were talking about last episode, what they were talking about still keeping together this episode, all the strong people working together to make it to
mhm,
the end.
yeah,
I think that is going to be a prominent theme of this season. And
yeah,
it is something that we haven't really seen in a while, like
yeah,
an alliance like really sticking together and then making it out to the end of like,
yeah,
let's say, for lack of a better term, like heroes. Or like in the
yep,
sense I know I'm using that word a little like prematurely here, I feel like, especially when some of them are thinking of like turning already. But in the sense of like where you get all the like challenge beefs that want to play honest and stuff like that,
mhm,
and not break it. We haven't really seen that in quite some time.
yeah. And I mean, the fact that that seems to be a theme, I just feel like Joe or David have to win. I like they are literally the living embodiments of the theme of loyalty, being strong. Like that those are the two ones that just really like hammer home like that they're the ones to be like looking out for here for what we are assuming is the theme of like what we've noticed so far. Um
Yeah, yeah,
because like
I yeah.
some people could say Eva, but I really do like think that they focus so much more on Joe and Eva's moments than Eva. Like there are so many just shots of just like what's Joe's reaction and thoughts to what's going on with Eva. Like they had so many more of those that makes you go like, wow, they care so much about Joe in this moment, even though Eva's the one that like is going through it.
I would say I wouldn't count out Eva just yet. You make a solid point though. I wouldn't count her out just yet. Because I don't know. It could be just because I watched a video of like least obvious winner edits and stuff like that, but it's like it's one of those things where I'm like, Eva still has a great story. She's also great in these challenges. So I think it is still possible, but I do think the two front runners are Joe and David.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just glad Cedric's going because now I can stop clowning on him for his terrible tribal councils because
Yep.
he's
Yeah. I still think it was a little bit of a bad move to take him out here. I
yeah,
think keeping I don't know. I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, because then that makes Joe and Eva maybe a little upset with the others moving forward and stuff like that. Uh I don't understand why Cedric didn't play his shot in the dark.
Yeah, he must have really bought it, but also, I mean, like, I don't think it would have worked. We've seen it happen this season. What are the odds that it happens again? Well, what are the odds that it's successful?
Each time it happens, it's 1 in 6 shot. So
Well,
I think because of 1 in 36 that it happens again.
yeah, not great odds. So I don't know. There's definitely a level just like you have to kind of trust that people are telling you the truth here. Because also you
I
play
think
it and you didn't need to. Sometimes people are just like, "Well, fuck you for not voting with us, and you're out next."
I yeah, I think the thing is sometimes when you're in that position where it's like, all right, it's clearly me or the other guy, and it's up to the people in the middle to kind of figure out where they want to go. It's
Mhm.
like just in case the four are lying to me, fuck it. Well, why don't I play it? Because my vote is essentially not going to matter in the outcome.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think that there's a level of trust that you have to do build up with Bowden. Yeah,
Well,
I know
the
that
thing
it's
is,
like
the thing is, if you're right, then it's like, well, you fuckers were gonna get me out anyway. If you're wrong, it'd be like, listen, I got nervous and stuff like that. Maybe there's a way to bounce back with it. It's just
yeah,
more so like,
it's just one of those things. The fact that it's a 1 in 6 shot and Cedric had literally just seen it work. I think that there's just so many odds of like that's not going to it's going to get not safe this time. Um, and so like sure you can do it, and maybe you needed it. You're going to still go home if you needed it. But if you do it and then you didn't need to do it, it just does make you kind of become the next boot the next time anyways. So it's like you may as well like hope that you can at least make it further in the game. Like I always say go like play to go further instead of play to go one round.
yeah. I mean, if you have that luxury, I feel regardless, Cedric should have done it because like he would have went home. But like Shaheen, it didn't make sense to do it. Like in the sense of like Shaheen, especially when he's in a group that is constantly talking about being tight and having strong people at the end. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cedric, he had more reasons to play it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I think definitely the Shaheen move would have been best for Kyle and Camilla. I do think that they are in the worst spot of that loyalty group. I can easily see them kind of just being brought a little bit further into it and then just getting cut once the numbers go down.
Yeah, especially because I do wonder because the tribes are going to get back and stuff like that. Now, David seems really tight with Kyle, but it could be a thing where that strong person alliance, especially with that five, have three original Purple Tribe members. And so like I can see them kind of wanting to like work together a bit more or have that they already have that bond, that stronger bond.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I feel yeah, I think they're in a tough position. It's not yeah, I wouldn't say it's the end of the I wouldn't say it's like for certain. I think there's like there are ways for them to make it out of it. But the thing is, I think the only way to make it out of it is to turn on that set alliance.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, Something that I've always wondered because we've seen it now a few times. This situation where the first person voted out is not sure, and the second one is. I wondered how Ponderosa goes because, like, typically how it works in a normal season is the day after the last juror member or the pre-juror is voted out, they leave. They're out of the Ponderosa, so that way the next day when the first juror comes in, they come in. There's no interaction. I do
Yeah.
wonder how that interaction works because two people just left at the same time. You can't get all of those people out of there of Ponderosa before Cedric comes in like an hour.
Well, technically you can.
Yeah, but
It's
like,
called foresight.
yeah, well, the problem is like for someone like Say who's just out of it, they have to do a lot of medical stuff. They have to kind of go through a lot of stuff. They have to like check to make sure everything's good. They can't like rush you onto a plane right away. Like you have to wait.
It's possible though. It's like, all right, you have to look, you put the pre-jurors in like a little another camp for a little bit. Not like a camp, but like you
You're
this is a
back to
question for
playing Survivor.
no, yeah. Uh but like you put them in like at the very least, like, put them in a hotel room or something for a
Yeah,
while. When Say gets all checked out, when Say's good to go. All right, y'all, fly
yeah,
away, be
yeah.
free.
Yeah, it's just
Or
typically people need
they,
to compress, like decompress after it. So it's just like to not have, I guess, that night, like because or do they just say, I don't care, Cedric, you're going to be hanging out with the pre-jurors at Ponderosa, and then they're all gonna
no, they
leave.
wouldn't do that.
Like
This is a question to ask someone that's been in the scenario,
yeah,
but
Jeff Probst.
I
Let's
would,
let's ask Jeff Probst what the protocol is on this
Jeffy,
specific thing. Yeah, yeah. Let's get him on the phone.
have another FTC event so I can do that.
Okay, well, that's the question to ask him because that is definitely that would be a very curious thing to know what happens.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, yes.
I love the challenge. The challenge was
The
great.
ch- the bucket challenge, and it was
Yeah,
cool that they were able to break that record. Of course, it's the two muscly men at the
yeah,
same, or like, yeah, the each opposite tribe trying to do it.
yeah,
Breaking Gabler's record.
yeah. Good record to break. I'm glad that Gabler no longer has that record. That's a win for the Survivor community.
I don't agree with you, Joe. I think it is cool that David won. I will also say, when you said David versus, I always keep thinking he's going to say
Yeah,
Goliath.
Joe is the Goliath of the season, and I think this season Goliath will win.
I think, yeah, well, both of them are Goliath. Or they were said, oh, they were called The Rock and Captain America.
Yeah, yeah. I think if David was on David versus Goliath, he would have been on the Goliath tribe. You know,
100%.
just because his name's David does not put him in in the same camp as the Davids. Uh, but yeah, no, it was. I mostly like the smack talk and the Shaheen doing the tribal music.
Wah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the cuts to it, and because you know when they did it there, Shaheen just kind of probably did it for like a minute or something, and then they cut it into like all the different smack talk montage that ends up happening there, which was pretty
Mhm.
fun. And then doing the apply now to be on Survivor because Kyle
Yeah.
referenced it.
He is the first Survivor contestant
Yeah,
to be a part of that.
it felt so funny because it felt like he was clearly making a joke against Jeff, and then Jeff was like in on it. I was like, okay,
We're
Al.
going for it. We're
Yeah.
going for it. I don't even think Kyle knew in the moment to do it because he wasn't even looking at the camera.
Yeah, it was spontaneous. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was definitely fun. I figured this challenge looked like it was especially up David's wheelhouse. I think David could have gone 2 hours. I really think if he wanted to, he
Probably.
could have gone like 2 hours.
He was fucking around up there too. He was even like playing like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
oh.
yeah. I mean, this is like the perfect challenge for someone like David, like because this is all grip strength, and like he clearly is great at grip strength. I mean, if you're a stunt performer, grip strength is like essential to like
Rather,
so
rather,
pretty much like everything you're doing. There's a lot of grip strength involved.
yeah, it's rather important. I did want to also shout out uh Joe in that thing as well. I will say it is an interesting strategy because you even saw like Joe like scratch and stuff and let go or use one arm for a little bit. I
Yeah.
understand why David do it because he was low key showing off, high key
Mhm.
showing off. Let's be real, but
Yeah.
like. I get like, oh, you give your one arm a little bit of rest, but it's also putting more strain on your other arm as well.
Yeah, I was curious because when I was watching, there's definitely a moment where I think Joe is straight up sitting on the ground, like butt on the ground, and he
Yeah.
had like his legs like fully. I was like, is that allowed? That feels like you're not allowed to. And like and then like they cut back to him a little bit later, and he's back to like squatting. So I wonder if he did try to sit down, and they were like, hey, that's against the rules. You can't do that.
I would think sitting down would put you at a disadvantage.
Yeah, well, he's got the reach to like still be able to be there and like sit down and just kind of like
Well,
holds.
yeah, you're able to sit down, but then you're
Yeah,
also holding your arms up, and
yeah,
that's using more energy for it. So I feel like if
yeah,
you're
but
able to do that, yeah, but I
yeah,
feel like you lose some of the strength by doing so.
yeah. I mean, like if you can do it the David way, it's better. But like, I also think that that's kind of not how you should be able to do it. I feel like I don't know. I feel like you're getting extra leverage by being able to like
I
sit
think you're
down.
just jealous because he's taller than you, Joe.
No, man, listen, all my friends who we were watching, we pointed it out and was like, that doesn't seem doable. Like that seems against the rules.
Jeff didn't call it out.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think they might have called it out, but cut it because probably Joe's winning the season, so they don't want to make him look bad.
Fair, but at the same time, I don't know. I We could be digging into the to all the little nooks and crannies of what could happen, what
Yes,
production's doing until we are blue in the face.
yes, and that's what we do because we have a podcast, so we
That
got to
is
do it.
true. That is true. But I'm also like, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to something like that, I think he's good. Like, I see nothing personally wrong with someone like just being able to sit down if they're able to. Because, like I said, then you're having to have your arms above your head and you don't have as much control over it.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think any time that you can like sit down and not have to worry about because when you're standing there for a long period of time, I will say that can also be an extra like strain of just like thinking about like, oh man, this is now getting some pain in my feet or my calves or something like that. But if you're able to just sit on your butt, um and now all the stress is just here, and you like your strong, muscly arms that you've built up. You can now just rely on one thing instead of multiple points of contact.
I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one. I think
Yeah.
because like
Listen,
I'm
listen.
also like
I'm in my challenge beast era right now. I know everything about being a comp beast.
I was there too, but now I'm like right now I'm having my I'm not pretty anymore Barbie moment where I'm like, what was I made for? Billie Eilish is playing. I'm about to, guys, I'm if you can see back there, I'm in the midst of like doing or like I'm practicing for a challenge and I fucking suck at it. And Joe and I beforehand were talking about like how I'm about to lose this game. Anyway, it is a challenge. It is the thing I'm doing is basically the challenge. Anyway,
Yeah.
all that aside, uh I feel sometimes you even look at things of like, oh, is there a way to hack a challenge? I do feel like, yes, obviously, if you're able to sit down, it might give you some like levity, but I still think the strain you're putting on your arms because you're having it above your head
Hmm.
and doing it too,
Yeah.
it mitigates having like it's putting more stress on your arms. It's not basically when you let go, that's when you do it. So by doing so, you are you're making it easier on your legs and stuff, but you still are making it a little harder for you because now your grip has changed and it's not as
Mhm.
ideal
I'll just say he dropped it when he wasn't sitting like that. So, I'm just saying.
for what
No, we can move on. Agree to disagree on that one. But yeah, I mean, what else is that? I mean, I know that we talked about how the Mitch and Shaheen, they tried to kind of get us there, but like when you do look at like how the teams kind of got assembled, this looks like what's going to happen is what we got. Like
Yeah.
it played out essentially exactly how like you would initially think of it playing out.
Well, I think Mitch also kind of like mentioned it in his during his tribal council because it's like sometimes you just have to make the smart decision, the easy decision. And like and yeah, it may not be the flashiest and stuff like that. And can we also talk about because like yeah, a lot happened this episode, but also not really.
Mhm.
But Chrissy had a moment where she was like, they all have to do stuff. They can play straightforward all they want. Chrissy right here, I need to like make moves, and like I need to backstab and stuff. But
Mhm.
just not right now. Just
Yeah.
I loved how she had that awareness to be like, not right now. Because I was like, wait, is Chrissy actually about to talk herself out of the game? The first time she actually talks?
Yeah, it almost makes sense with her edits. The fact that she's gotten no convent her confessional count is abysmal. It is one of the worst new era confessional counts we have seen in just ever. It is bad. It is remarkably bad. This is apparently someone that Survivor does not want to be on Survivor ever again, based off of what they're doing to her in this edit. So for her to just like get kind of taken out here out of like nowhere would have made sense.
Yeah. Because we were also wondering, because like we talk about confessional count a lot on our channel, but it does give clues. It does give clues
Yeah.
who's winning this game. And it's also interesting to talk about because like you want to balance the amount of screen time you're giving to people, but also at the same time, you have to make sure people kind of know what the main story of the season is because each
Yeah.
season, obviously, they're playing a game. The game is always the same. Granted, there's always going to be a different theme. There might be a different format and sense of like three tribes, two tribes, earn the merge, no earn the merge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like it's the different stories that the contestants bring and their like characters throughout and what alliance they do that makes each season different.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. But this has been the Say show. Uh
This
and
this
and now
was this.
and now that Say's not there anymore,
She
the
got net art start.
yeah, it is now crazy seeing how low other people's confessional counts are to her. Um Especially some of the people who are running who seem like they're the front runners, like Joe, who's got 19 confessionals, you know?
Yeah.
Like
No, that is, yeah, it is. And I think that's something that a lot of people are going to discuss and wonder about. And I'm sure that Jeff might get questions of that too. Like, yo,
yeah.
why did Say break Tony's record when she didn't even make it to the jury phase?
Yeah.
Like, like I said, Say is entertaining. And so I'm glad we did, but it is strange that she got it.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that confessional counts sometimes the editors don't really care about and Survivor doesn't care about. They're just like, what's going to make it for this specific episode and not like the history and the record setting stuff for that. It's just kind of like, oh, it just ended up happening because that's what they want to do for that one episode. It's just so weird that she gets 21 in a premiere episode when you got to build up so many people and they chose to build up Say as
Yeah.
there's a couple other people who got decent stuff, but it felt like it was tied to other things. And then there's just like Say that's just like bam 21. Let's give you 21 of 95 confessionals of that episode.
Oh wait, I think I have an idea. The Say standard,
Yeah, Say standard. What?
where
Yeah,
it's like your friend North might have something better, but I'm like, all right, the Say standard. It's like you're not getting a decent edit if you don't make it past the Say standard, which
yeah,
is E3.
Yeah, maybe it was like say scale. There's
Say
something.
scale.
Yeah, say
Yeah.
standards. Yeah. But yeah, no. We'll definitely have it for you next time because this is the next evolution of the Banu bar.
Yes. Yes.
Because I guarantee you
Bolivar was short-lived.
the
It
winner
was
of the
so
season
2024.
has to have more confessionals than Say. It's like
Yes.
they have to by the end of the season have more confessionals than Say.
I 100% agree with this. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Yeah. Uh, if Joe wins with like 40 confessionals, that'd be wild.
The rate he's going, it is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's maybe not the greatest confessional giver. But they love all of the actions he does more so than what he's saying. Um,
A man of few words.
yeah. But he's there at the important moments when we need to see Joe. We're seeing Joe at his Joest.
Ew, not as Joist. Fuck with you,
uh,
man.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, don't worry, he's not a chaos gremlin. He's
he is not. He is the opposite of a chaos gremlin.
yeah. Uh okay. Anything else we want to talk about? Got
There's, yeah, there's not really too much to mention. Other than the fact, and I know this kind of like goes back to Mitch, he was talking to Shaheen and Joe about like how he used to have a way better job and that how he sacrificed it all because he wasn't finding fulfillment with it. He wanted to work with kids and stuff like that.
mhm,
Um, I think that's something that sometimes gets, unsung because you know, one of the worst things about America is that public school workers specifically
mhm,
get paid poorly compared to, and so like he it's taken that kind of a big of a like scale of like pay decrease.
mhm.
It says a lot about his character.
Yeah. And then they have this heartfelt moment and then cut to Joe saying we gotta vote him out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, and even when I drafted Mitch, I was like, Mitch is someone you don't want to bring to the end because he
Yeah.
has the story, and also he is good at these challenges. He can hold his own. He's just up against people that are very, very strong as well.
Mhm,
Or like it's one of those things where it's like he can hold his own. It's just the people he's up against
mhm.
are kind of like making him not shine as brightly.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm just so upset. I'm down to three people on my fantasy team.
I know. It's
Yeah.
okay. But I mean, one of them is David.
Yeah, I have David. So hopefully David doesn't just get like sniped. If David's like the game of the season who goes out, and then freaking Mary and Star are short tier too, that's gonna suck.
I do feel this might be, you might disagree with me. I do feel like David could potentially is starting to have more of a winner's edit
Yeah,
than Joe. I don't know if it's just confessional counts, but I feel like there's also like we've established a lot of stakes for David as well, like in the sense of
yeah,
like he's living in his dad's driveway and in like an RV. He his girlfriend, like there was like this complication because he didn't have a place of his own and like wanting to raise kid and also being older and stuff like that. There's so
mhm,
many things, and also the chocolate milk thing, this chocolate,
yeah,
like the thing is it was like uh, there's so many like positive, this I would say like this was maybe like the only time we got a little bit of a negative edit from it. It wasn't even a thing that he went along with. It was like basically Camilla and Kyle being like, hey, maybe we can get Shaheen out if we kind of implant
mhm,
ideas of doubt into David's mind. And then David was talking about it for a little bit. But, I think that's kind of like lessened a little bit when you look at the fact that he didn't end up voting that way anyway, so
Yeah.
who's to say?
If Joe's not winning the season, it's David. Like I really do think it's like between one of those two, just
Agreed.
based just based on the edit that we're getting this season and like what we're being told matters the most on this cast. um,
Honesty, muscles, and milk.
yes, exactly. They bonded over chocolate milk. I will say, 2 days ago, I bought a gallon of chocolate milk in honor of David and Joe.
You would next time we see Joe for 49, he's gonna be all muscly.
Yeah, this is chocolate milk.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, I think we've pretty much went over everything. I think
Yeah.
because it's a double, it always kind of sounds like it goes faster.
Yeah, I was like, damn, we're 15 minutes in, we're already at the immunity challenge. Like, and then when he said double, I was like, okay, that makes sense now because we're gonna have to spend a lot of time on the strategy. Uh, but the strategy still kind of seemed pretty
Straightforward.
yeah, two-dimensional. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, no, there wasn't much else that I can really think of. Yeah, just it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. Mitch uses Blockabo, so that's gone now.
Yeah, I think wisely. Like I said, if it's between Say and Mitch, it's like, especially if Mitch doesn't use it on you, might as well because it's up in the hands of everyone else anyway.
Yeah, I do think that Mitch also is telling people he's using his block vote made people not want to vote Mitch because now it's just like, why kind of
Yeah,
go against that? Like now it's super easy just to vote with him on this one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Uh, okay. Well, do we want to get to confessional counts?
Yes, because we value screen time on this channel.
Yes. So Say goes out 53 confessionals. Cedric goes out 19 confessionals, and he's the one who made jury, by the way. Um, uh, and
It's
then
still a decent chunk. It's not
yeah,
great, but I'm like, it's solid.
yeah, but remember 45? Like it was Caleb and Sifu in this situation. Caleb had this crazy big edit because he was super likable, but also he makes the jury. Sifu, who seemed like he should be this big character, got less of an edit because he just missed out on jury. So it's interesting
Yeah,
that kind of like it's a reverse kind of situation going on here. Um, but yeah, Kyle is now in the lead for confessionals at 31. Um,
yeah.
so 22 more confessionals for him, and he's up to Say.
That's gonna be such a long time because you have to average
Yeah,
for, like basically, it's gonna be so hard to do,
yeah.
especially if Kyle is the front runner. I need to know who else is there because
It's a
Joe, that
drop.
might be
It's a drop.
all right. Well, who's next on there?
Okay, so there's now a four-way tie at 25 confessionals between David, Eva, Mitch, and Shaheen. Mitch got 10 confessionals this episode, shooting him up into being that contention.
Skyrocketed because he was getting like two or three an episode.
Yeah, it was like we knew of Mitch, but we didn't know much of what was going on in Mitch's head until this episode.
Yeah. Uh, well, dang. Eva makes a lot of sense. But
David,
yeah,
of
that's still,
course.
but that, and yeah, and that's still so many to get up to where Say is. I'm still, it's
Yeah,
like, it seems like such a tall order to
yeah,
do.
yeah. They
Uh,
have to they have to go over twice as many confessionals as what they have right now in episode 7, which it took 7 episodes to get here. It's wild. Like we're not breaking. No one's breaking that, in my opinion, in the next 3 episodes. Like
no,
it's going to take at least over 3 episodes for someone to have a chance.
no. Yeah. Wow. All right. So underneath them,
Yes. So after them, we have looks like it's Mary with 23 confessionals. She did get zero this episode.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that.
Yeah. So
If it
interesting.
wasn't clear, she wasn't winning. Also, shout out, you are the last member of your tribe
Yeah.
left.
Yeah. Can we now officially say this is one of the worst tribes of all time right here? This was like I don't think there's any denying it now.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I still think Mary loses at Fire at Final Four. I think she's going to manage to like skate her way to Final Four.
I think it's possible. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's no reason to go after Mary for quite some time. Granted,
No.
there was, I mean, like to keep numbers strong, yeah, it made sense to get rid of Cedric, but I feel like Cedric is someone you should have kept around.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Okay. Oh, real quick, Camilla is actually in between Mary and the other ones with 24 confessionals. Uh
Gotcha.
yes, yes. And then after that, um it looks like I think we're going to Joe here. Yeah, we're going to Joe at 19 confessionals.
Okay.
And then we got Star at 12 confessionals.
That still feels so.
Yeah. And then coming up at the rear is Christy with 10 confessionals. She has broken double digits, everyone.
Yeah.
Let's sing it to the rooftops. Christy is now a double digits confessional getter.
It only took several episodes.
Yeah. And still just like barely making it there. Like it's
Did
like
she
it
get like one or two this episode?
she got two. So
Yeah.
if she would have gotten one, she would have still been in single digits.
My
Uh,
God. Yeah. This is crazy. Uh yeah. Uh it is still weird seeing Joe have such a low confessional count. I know
yeah.
we talked about it earlier this episode. I guess it is I don't know. Maybe they're saving some big stuff for later on.
Yeah, he has done a lot of threes and fours in his episodes, but then he has that one where he got zero. But even that episode, and this is why I think it was a trick to make people say don't count out people with zero confessionals, is if he wins, because that episode still focused so much on Joe. He just didn't talk to the camera. Like
Yeah.
he is part of the biggest part of that episode.
That was the one where he was talking about his backstory as well as like that was the Eva episode where she had her
Yeah,
she had her episode. So like
yeah. He was the
even when
main
they did
character.
yeah, when he especially when he was talking about his backstory, they did show, his parents and stuff back then. So
Mhm.
it's like a pseudo confessional, not really, but it's like we're getting his backstory.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think that that one is trying to trick the people who dive into edits because they have to do one little trick each time. I feel like that's something they're going to try to do this time, so that way moving forward they're like, aha, you can't do that now while they go back to doing what they were previously doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, okay. And then, with that being said, I guess we can move over to our MVP and LVP.
This one may be a little tricky. I'm going to say MVP, I will give to Mitch. He survived. And, I didn't really think about it until you mentioned it. But like the fact of like, hey, I'm going to do this block a vote on, say, it also gets everyone to rally. It's like, all right, well, say can't even play or shot in the dark. I think this is the best opportunity. I think like if they
Mhm.
were going to target him, and since he did say, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, I feel like that shifted things in his favor. And now people don't have to worry about him using it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's very fair. I'm still giving it to the Greek gods, the muscle man, the chocolate milk drinker himself, David. Um,
Yeah.
winning the challenge, setting a record. Uh,
The fake outs were like the best.
yeah, just like oh,
Who the fuck
oh.
does that in a challenge?
Yeah, and he didn't even bat an eye. You know that there's going to be some challenge that he totally does that and actually fails because he's having fun.
Arrogance sometimes get the best of us.
Yeah, but I'm going to give it to him. I think that setting a record for that challenge definitely earns him this. I think I gave Gabler the MVP when he broke it last time when he did that. I was like, this is the one time Gabler's going to get an MVP this
It was a
season.
good it was a good moment. It was definitely a good moment.
Yeah.
Um LVP, I, I might for the last time have to give it to Cedric just because
Um,
it just felt so like it, I don't really think there's any like straight up someone did horrifically bad because even say we didn't talk about it too much this episode. She tried to mend fences. She kind of understood, okay, my position in the game is bad, and she would do stuff to kind of like remedy it. She didn't necessarily try and stir up chaos or anything this episode. It just like more so of like it was her time. I will. So the reason I give it to Cedric is he wasn't even able to let Jeff finish his intro before he stopped, and he got eliminated.
yeah. Yeah, Cedric's pretty bad. I'm going to agree with you on this one. I think it's got to go to Cedric. This is the last time I can make fun of Cedric, so I'm going to give it to Cedric here.
You'll find a way next episode.
Yeah, yeah. He's gonna come onto the jury and he's gonna trip or something and be like, God damn it, Cedric can't even walk to the jury, right?
Joe, Joe, do not speak that into existence, because if you do, I think you go to hell.
If there's a slight stumble from Cedric, oh boy. Yeah,
Joe, if you do that, no, that's mean, but like at the same time, if you call that, I don't even know what to think.
yeah, but we're gonna see Cedric next week, so you know what? There's a chance he gets LVP again from the jury bench.
Joe, if you do that next up week, you're an asshole. He's already gone. Stop doing it to him.
Uh, listen, Cedric, I'm sure you're a great guy. Uh, just not great for Survivor. Not great Survivor player. That's all I'm saying. Uh, probably great person. It seems like you're a great person. Uh,
Well, no, I mean, like he's an accomplished doctor and everything. Like, at least he did it, and regardless, you made history, whether it was good or bad, voting every single person on your
mhm,
tribe during tribal council.
yeah,
You have that. No one can take that away from you.
yeah. A historically bad 7 days of Survivor. Cedric can take that with him for the rest of his life.
Jesus Christ. All right. We're done bullying. Well,
Yeah,
it's mostly Joe bullying.
I'm not bowling here. I'm just stating facts.
You are stating facts, but they're being facts.
Facts are facts.
I understand. I
Uh,
guess it's just the cheeky smile on your face while you're
yeah,
delivering it.
yeah. That's the problem. I always have the smile whenever I say stuff, so it's just like it makes everything sound worse.
You're right. It does.
uh, okay, well, that's it here. It's getting pretty late here. We did this right after the episode, so very very unusual for us.
I
But
know it's less than an hour.
yeah. I know. I was a little concerned because when I'm doing my Survivor watch party, sometimes like things are moving or someone starts talking or something, and then I miss out on something. So I'm always afraid of missing out on everything. But I think I don't think there's any big moments that I missed.
No, I think we cover pretty much everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
All
with that
right.
being said, I guess we will see you all in the next one.
Peace.